For all our viewers across Africa and the rest of the world, this is News Central Continental Prime. I am Kofi Bartels. Our coverage tonight starts in West Africa, where President Bola Tinubu is said to be considering a temporary subsidy on petrol as crude oil prices and foreign exchange rates continue to soar. Well, the presidency sources at the presidency say there's yet no final decision, but the proposal is on the table as Nigerians continue to groan under the harsh economic realities following the removal of petrol subsidy in May 2023. Now, labor unions have threatened to embark on an indefinite strike if the petrol price surges further. Meanwhile, the Kenyan government on Monday reintroduced fuel subsidies to curb soaring prices of petrol, kerosene, and diesel in that country. Now, to discuss this, we're joined in the studio by Emmanuel Owabor. He is an economic analyst, and we're glad to have him tonight on News Central Continental Prime. Mr. Owabor, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let's quickly take your thoughts. Now, when the subsidy was, removed, it was said, that the government could not carry it on the budget, and Nigeria was in dire straits as far as the nation's fiscal affairs were concerned. They said the country could not afford to pay the subsidy. So on what grounds do you think this subsidy could be introduced? If they're saying there's no money, if they're saying that Nigeria has to borrow to pay the subsidy and it was unsustainable, where are they going to get this money from? On what grounds is this new subsidy, if it's true, coming?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's a common knowledge by now. The subsidy after the removal, this is just like 2 months into the new regime without the subsidy, of which the government has been able to save up to ₦1 trillion from that. With that being said, you already understand that at least there's money coming from the removal of subsidy. And if, like you said earlier on what happened in Kenya, you reintroduced what we call like a small subsidy for a little period of time. The president himself said it, let the poor breathe.
Don't suffocate them.
Don't suffocate them. I mean, this is, I particularly myself, I'm a parent, so I know the effect it could have, especially as schools are about to resume. Everybody is actually on a tight corner. So if the subsidy comes back now, I think the government has the money to sustain it for now, that period. Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right, very interesting. Now, if the government, were to reintroduce a subsidy, up to what rate would you advise that should be done? Is it to go back to what was there before he said the subsidy is gone, or is there something different from what was there before?
Yeah, in my own opinion, I think if they are to reintroduce it, it should be like a mid-range, let's say something between 300 and 350. It's going to be a temporary period, so don't take us back to a good time and now we are not come back to grapple with the real effect. Just like a cushion, let's put at the middle ground. Let's say between 300, 350 pump price, it could be fair in that direction.
Okay, it's still at the level of rumor. Do you think this rumor is true?
We may not.
But the realities on ground.
Yeah, based on the realities on ground, it would be wise for the government to consider and actually bring that to fruition, because I mean, everywhere is tense. The people, nobody is happy right now. Maybe for a few sets, workers, traders, everybody is just on the edge. I mean, you can even see coming here, there's a little bit of fuel scarcity. You can see elements here and there. We wouldn't want the country to implode. I think it would be a good time to introduce small subsidy, as it were.
All right. Now, we've seen that fuel prices at the pump, have varied, several rates. The NNPC today coming out to say we're still selling at what we were selling before. We've seen that some independent retailers are selling at 700 and something naira. Some are selling at 600 and something. The NNPC is where it is. And the major oil marketers like the Total and the Mobil and Co are where they've been, varying rates. Now, is there a way for government to regulate this to be uniform? Because we know they've said it's an open market operation of free market, forces of demand and supply. Going by what we know, and of course the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act, is there a way the government can ensure one rate across the board, all over the country?
Well, that would be very difficult, because that is actually a free-for-all market right now. Everybody is not buying from the same place, and there's no regulation as per the price at which you are buying at which. So therefore, there cannot be a price as per which you could sell. It's an open market, and that's where the monopoly, as this is broken. It's left for those that know the market very well to take advantage of that. And I just pray that the marketers can, in their own wisdom, remember that we are all humans. While trying to make profit, should equally take the place of humanity in place so that the prices will remain affordable and sustainable, as it were.
Interesting. What are the factors, would you say, that have, made the initial removal of subsidies seem like a bad decision, a bad policy? What factors affected it? Because the president was adamant. I mean, he didn't have a team in place at that time, but they were adamant that this had to go. We see organizations and institutions like the World Bank also coming out to say that this was necessary. So what factors made that initial removal of subsidy seem like a bad policy, and how can those factors be addressed?
Well, the factor I would like to talk about is the factor of perception. To me, if Nigerians, we are we are not as patient as we would like. You understand? I mean, if a government for a very long time has saved, for the first time in a long time, is able to save money. I mean, the money that is being shared at FAC has increased. States now have more money. There's a plan for infrastructural investment. You see those, for instance, in Lagos State, the EVs, electric vehicles are running.
Are they running?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the BRT?
Yeah, the BRT, yes.
That Tinubu and Owabor brought in.
I think this is by Lagos State. There was one.
Yes. It was partnership
one was seen yesterday in the roads and the BRT lane.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that is running, and you could see that states ordinarily that couldn't be able to afford some palliative. Like, I think yesterday, just in Ekiti State, the state government has introduced buses for their civil.
How far will these go? Because how far will they go?
Yes, but like every other thing, we will adjust. But while we adjust, we just need something to just hold on to while we are trying to make the adjustment process. And for the fact that the subsidy was removed and government is able to get more money, I think it's now time for Nigerians to begin to ask their state governors, come on, local government chairmen, you have more money.
But Emmanuel, yeah. Going back to place a partial subsidy, if that thing comes, I don't know if President Tinubu will have the political will and the heart to bring it back, because already he has told Nigeria, we eat this pill now, we take it now.
Yes.
Buhari tried. Jonathan tried. Yes. And it was the same thing, partial subsidy removal. Buhari tried, partial subsidy removal. Should we not just, we're in it. Shouldn't we just go through it? Don't bring any subsidy back, temporary, which will last for 8 years till you wait for the next president to come and carry that cross. Let it be there, let Nigerians, let's do, we are done.
Yeah,
what do you say? What do you say to that? I'm not saying that.
I understand. Every good leader, like I believe President Tinubu is a good leader, should understand the place of carrot and sticks. You understand? Now, no matter, I'm not saying it's going to be sustainable. The reintroduction could just be a period of 30 to 60 days. But if you say that subsidy is going
what would change in 30 to 60 days?
A lot of adjustments. For instance, I don't have to break my neck to pay school fees anymore. If the subsidy comes back. I mean, before now, my car, I can use a fuel of 15,000 naira within a week. But right now, I need well over 45,000 naira to fuel the same car. So if within that period, this is actually, I'm just giving you a direct instance, schools are going to resume very soon, most rents are going to expire. So, people will just, no matter how it is, people are going to feel the positive impact of it.
All right. Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Owabor, economic analyst. We appreciate you joining us on New Central Continental Prime.